Hey guys, Ryan Ouellette here. I'm sitting down with Brandon. He's in his 12th week of his Unicity Transformation program, and I thought it'd be interesting for him to share his experience through the program. So, Brandon, how come you enrolled in the transformation program?
Well, actually, before I started, I was constantly going out to the bars, just drinking, spending upwards of hundreds of dollars a night, and it was just getting ridiculous. I knew something had to change, and also I wasn't eating very well. So I just wanted to get healthier, but I didn't really know how. And then actually is like just a kind of coincidental thing that I seen you at the bar one night, and you talked to me about the program, and so I was pretty intrigued. So I decided to come to the seminar that you and Doug were holding.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, I used to train with Brandon at this very gym here, boxing, and he was, how old were you then? You're just...
I started in the 7th grade,
Okay.
so I was probably around 12 or 13.
Okay. Yeah, so, and now you're 22?
22, yes.
Okay, so almost 10 years ago, and we never really spoke when we were training at the gym together. I think we were both two shy guys.
Yeah, I was pretty shy growing up.
Just kind of did our own thing.
Yeah.
And so I recognized Brandon at the bar, and we talked a little bit, like you said. Came to the seminar, and what intrigued you about the program?
Oh, just the entire package. Like the coach, you get a coach. That sounded awesome, because I've tried doing stuff on my own, eating better, or even just coming back to boxing, and I get maybe a month and a half before I lost motivation. But so the coach, that definitely helped. The science behind everything, like they did studies, they did tests, everything that they say is in whatever product you're having is in it. So again, that was another big key thing, because sometimes you don't really, whatever's on the shelf, you don't really know what's in it.
With the transformation program, you have 4 products that you take. Let's start with the complete. How did you use the complete?
Well, I normally just mixed it with water. I think once I tried making a shake and it was alright, but I prefer to just keep it simple, and I just mixed it with water. I also did the cleanse as well, so I was mixing those, and I just had it with my breakfast, 8 to 10 egg whites and some whole wheat toast and peanut butter. Just kept it really simple.
Nice. So you weren't restricted much, like with your goals in the program, your coach didn't restrict you much with the amount of food that you could eat?
Oh, not at all. He actually encouraged me to eat more. Coming into this, I just originally wanted to start eating healthier, cut back on the booze, get rid of my beer gut, and so I thought I was gonna just eat a set amount and just lose some weight. But he said, no, I want you gaining weight, muscle weight. And so I was surprised at first, but yeah, it really worked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like most people looking at you right now, I mean, before the program, you didn't look like a guy that would need to lose weight or fat much. So like, what did people in your, people that you knew, like your family and friends, what did they say when you decided to enroll in the program?
Well, on the family part of it, they didn't know right away. I had talked to you about it. I was really gung-ho. I just wanted to get it started. So I went to you, I ordered the package through you, all the products, and got everything started. And the first day they found out was when actually everything came to the house.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were just kind of like, what's this big box doing here? Brandon, what'd you order online again? Kind of that mentality. And I told them what I was doing, and they were just kind of like hand to the forehead. Oh, Brandon, why are you spending that much money? That's so dumb. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I just did it anyways. I knew it needed to be it was something that needed to be done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what about after the program? Like, did you get any feedback from friends and family, or during the program and after the program, about how you're doing with it?
Well, more so I got feedback from my friends, because that's like the bulk of people who I hang around with. I didn't get too much feedback from the family, but there were like things that made me happy during the program. Like my mother started doing like 5 or so crunches here and there. My sister said she wanted to start eating better, and she's been doing decent, you know. And she also enrolled in a local local YMCA gym.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it seems like your exercising kind of rubbed off on
Yeah.
them. Nice.
Yeah.
That's always nice to hear. So let's talk about what's your favorite product out of the 4?
That's got to be the matcha.
Nice. That's what I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
about. And I remember you telling me that you really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Why did you like the matcha? And when did you use it?
Well, the reason why I like it so much is many reasons. One, keeps me alert. It gives me energy, but not a sugar rush kind of energy. It doesn't spike. Like all of a sudden it's there. You get that energy. It's nice and calm, keeps you focused, and also it doesn't crash. It just kind of levels off very easily.
Yeah.
And that's something I really liked about it. And another thing was, if you mix it the way it says to mix it for 300 milliliters of water, it's very sweet. And the way I used it when I first started the program was, whenever I had a craving, I had a pretty big sweet tooth. And whenever I had a craving, I just drink a matcha instead.
How did you find the difficulty level of changing your lifestyle?
Well, at first, the first week or so, it was a little difficult changing my eating habits, because I'm so used to just eating whatever I want to eat, and just, you know, whatever's there, and didn't have to really prep much, or so, like, it was a whole new experience. So it was a little rough at first, but when you really get into it, it gets easy quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And as far as the food suggestions that Unicity gives you, that your coach gives you, did you find it limited?
Again, at first, yes, but after a while, once you really tinker around with it and play with your options, you really find out that you're not very limited at all. And especially, it also depends on the person, right? Because like I said earlier, my coach wanted me to gain more muscle, so he had me eat a lot more carbs and a lot more meals. So, and I thought I was going to be very limited, as to, he just said pretty much, here's all this stuff you can eat, and yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, so there's a lot of food, a wide array of foods.
Oh, very much so,
And
yes.
in your situation with your goals, your coach told you to basically
Pretty much eat
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
anything. Okay, so you mentioned the coach. What was the most significant part of having the coach there at your access?
I think the well, it's kind of two things. One thing was motivation, because that's gonna drop at some point. Anybody who starts this program, you've probably, I don't know if you went through that as well, but you get your start, when you first start, you're all riled up. It's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome, and you're at that peak, and you'll get to a point where, I know I did, just where the motivation was a little lower than when you started off. And that's what was really helpful, was having him there to back me up and keep me motivated and focused on my goal
Yeah.
and keep pushing me, almost like a hand to the back. Is like, come on, man, you got this. Just
Nice.
keep going for it.
Yeah.
So that was like one thing there, and also it was just great talking to him. Like questions, he had answers, and just is a really big part of why I was able to get through this.
Nice. I heard a quote from you about the fog being lifted. What's that all about?
Well, again, I had a really bad drinking problem and it was progressively getting worse the last few years. Just to like really get that quick, I have like an unlimited number of stories I could be telling you right now, but just like to get a grasp on it as a whole, like the worst ones, I've ended up in the drunk tank twice, and worst of all, I woke up in the hospital one morning because of excessive drinking. And so the fog being lifted really for me was getting into this program. There were at first times where my friends would invite me out and I'd still feel the need to drink, but now I don't really look forward to the weekend as getting drunk. I look forward to the entire week itself. I enjoy my sobriety. Like, I never thought I'd say that before. I would always work towards the weekend, work towards getting drunk, and like that would be my time off from everything else. But now I enjoy my entire day to day, and I couldn't be happier. And so like that fog is lifted, and yeah.
That's crazy. How much the whole program helped you get to the point that you are now in your new lifestyle. And it's very good to hear that. When we talked before about your experience off the air, you mentioned waking up in the hospital one morning and not really knowing what happened. How did that make you feel, and what how was that like?
I was terrified. I've had nights out, and I can't even count how many times I've blacked out. That's how bad my drinking problem was. And but this was the first time I woke up in the hospital. I was in paper clothes. I had an IV in my wrist, the pumping armband they put around for blood pressure, and the heart rate monitor on my finger. And I was just shocked. I couldn't take it all in and process it. And I tried to get up, and I was just so overhydrated I could barely sit up in my bed. And I can't say anything other than it was terrifying. And that's a really big point I wanted to point out for this program, because it really just took my life and turned it upside down. If I would have kept on the track I was going, I don't know if I would have ended up in the hospital again, or who knows, I might not have woken up at all from another night of that. So I really appreciate like this entire program. It probably saved my life.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And you've done an amazing job in the transformation program.
Yeah.
I was part of Brandon's success team, and close to the end of the program, just like 2 weeks before the end, when you go through the transformation program, you get with your success team on the phone along with your coach, and you go over how the program went and what your success team can keep doing for you to help you out. Since we're on the topic, why don't you talk about the success team that you had?
Well, Matt as well, another coach at this very gym, and Alyssa and Benji and Doug kind of ended up coming into it a little bit a little later on. My mom back at home, it was and that was pretty much that. But for this side of the success team, you, Matt, everyone else, like it really helped when you guys invited me for our reset meals or over for supper, and it definitely helps a lot that you're both my boxing coaches. Like you can whoop my ass here in the gym, you know I'm not slacking off. You guys are my trainers, so that definitely really helped.
And you definitely didn't slack off.
No, not at all. I did not dare. But also at the home end of it, when my mom started seeing how serious I was about making a change, and I'm pretty sure she's happy that her drunken idiot son isn't coming and stumbling home all the time anymore. But she really helped spice things up, I guess.
Yeah.
For like cooking and that, because like I said, I'm not very imaginative when it comes to cooking. Like whatever Sean told me to eat, white rice, potatoes, a lot of carbs, chicken, fish, beef, pork, whatever he told me to eat it, that's exactly how I would eat it. But then my mom's an amazing cook, so like she knew I was taking things seriously. She's like, oh, Brandon, you're eating chicken for like the second week in a row. It's like, here, I'm gonna do a little something with this, and it'd be just absolutely delicious. So that definitely helped. It is a nice little treat almost, instead of having like, I don't know, candy bar or something fast food. It'd be a nice little treat, like something different from what I normally am used to. So that definitely helped with that part of the success team.
Nice.
Yeah.
And kind of last question. You're in your 12th week. What's next?
Well, now I'm actually thinking about telling my coach Sean that I want to do the continuation, just to make sure that everything's really anchored in. I don't want to get out of it and start to slide back to my old ways. And so I really want to make sure that, because you live your whole life eating and doing what you do, and then just to change that in 3 months and say you can keep going with it, I find that a little difficult. So I at least want to put in a few more months of this to really instill all of the things I've learned.
Nice. If there's someone watching right now that is thinking about doing the program but maybe has excuses running through their head, if you could look into the camera and tell them something, what would that be?
Well, yeah, it may cost some money to do the program if that's really what you're worrying about. Yeah, you need to put a lot of work into it. It's not easy. That's something I learned through this program, that if you want to change, if you want to be better, if you want something, it's never easy to attain. But once you put that work in and you finally get it and see results, it's just amazing. Changes your life, and it's changed mine 100%. And I really am very humbled that I could go through this program, and I don't know where I'd be without it.
Thank you very much, Brandon. And actually, like we do in the boxing club, slap, punch. And if Brandon's mom's listening, you gotta invite me over for supper. Thank you for watching.